Third Prapataka of Maitrayaniya Upanishad, translated by Max Muller. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat. The Valakilyas said to Prajapati Kratu, O saint, if thou dost show us the greatness of that self, then who is that other different one, also called self, who really, overcome by bright and dark fruits of action, enters on a good or bad birth? Downward or upward is his course, and overcome by the pairs, distinction between hot and cold, pleasure and pain, etc., he roams about. Prajapati Kratu replied, there is indeed that other different one called the elemental self, Bhutatma, who, overcome by bright and dark fruits of action, enters on a good or bad birth. Downward or upward is his course, and overcome by the pairs, he roams about. And this is his explanation. The five Tanmatras, sound, touch, form, taste, smell, are called Bhuta. Also, the five Mahabhutas, gross elements, are called Bhuta. Then the aggregate of all these is called Sarira, body. And lastly, he of whom it was said that he dwelt in the body, he is called Bhutatma, the elemental self. Thus, his immortal self is like a drop of water on a lotus leaf, and he himself is overcome by the qualities of nature. Then, because he is thus overcome, he becomes bewildered, and because he is bewildered, he saw not the Creator, the Holy Lord, abiding within himself. Carried along by the waves of the qualities, darkened in his imaginations, unstable, fickle, crippled, full of desires, vacillating, he enters into belief. Believing, I am he, this is mine. He binds his self by his self, as a bird with a net, and overcome afterwards by the fruits of what he has done, he enters on a good and bad birth. Downward or upward is his course, and overcome by the pairs, he roams about. They asked, which is it? And he answered them. This also has elsewhere been said. He who acts is the elemental self. He who causes to act by means of the organs is the inner man, Antapurusha. Now, as even a ball of iron, pervaded, overcome by fire, and hammered by smiths, becomes manifold, assumes different forms such as crooked, round, large, small. Thus, the elemental self, pervaded, overcome by the inner man, and hammered by the qualities, becomes manifold. And the four tribes, mammals, birds, etc., the 14 worlds, Bhur, etc., with all the number of beings, multiplied 84 times, all this appears as manifoldness. And those multiplied things are impelled by man, Purusha, as the wheel by the potter. And as when the ball of iron is hammered, the fire is not overcome, so the inner man is not overcome, but the elemental self is overcome, because it has united itself with the elements. And it has been said elsewhere, this body produced from marriage and endowed with growth in darkness came forth by the urinary passage, was built up with bones, bedaubed with flesh, thatched with skin, filled with ordure, urine, bile, slime, marrow, fat, oil, and many impurities besides, like a treasury full of treasures. And it has been said elsewhere, bewilderment, fear, grief, sleep, sloth, carelessness, decay, sorrow, hunger, thirst, niggardliness, wrath, infidelity, ignorance, envy, cruelty, folly, shamelessness, meanness, pride, changeability. These are the results of the quality of darkness, Tamah. Inward thirst, fondness, passion, covetousness, unkindness, love, hatred, deceit, jealousy, vain restlessness, fickleness, unstableness, emulation, greed, patronizing of friends, family pride, aversion to disagreeable objects, devotion to agreeable objects, whispering, prodigality. These are the results of the quality of passion, rajas. By these he is filled. By these he is overcome. And therefore this elemental self assumes manifold forms. Yes, manifold forms. End of third Prapataka. Recording by Jyoti Taravanat.